Have you ever stared into the absolute void of your ceiling at 3 in the morning, silently begging the universe to take away your capacity to feel? You harbor a desperate fantasy. You wish to become a ghost walking among the living, a creature of cold stone, someone utterly and completely untouchable. You want to be immune to the venom of criticism, deaf to the whispers of betrayal, and entirely indifferent to the sudden, violent losses that life throws at you. You want to be the stoic figure who never breaks, never cries, and never shatters. You dream of the morning that silent, grinding agony in your chest will have finally vanished. You crave the end of that invisible bleeding, the bleeding you hide behind a tired, socially acceptable smile. The fatigue is etched deeply into the marrow of your bones. You are sick from this relentless theater of pretending to be okay. Sick of playing the unbreakable pillar for a society that drains you dry. When the door closes and you are finally alone, you just want to collapse. You crave a single, fleeting moment of rest from the crushing psychological demand of appearing strong. But I'm going to tell you a brutal truth that cowards will never dare to speak. As long as you spend your life running from pain, you will remain its absolute, pathetic slave. As long as you hide behind artificial walls of fake indifference, you are nothing but a hostage. You are a prisoner to every careless word a stranger speaks, to every expectation that falls short, to every heavy silence that makes you question your own worth. Numbing yourself is not an act of strength. It is a quiet, cowardly surrender. And this tragic surrender is the baseline reality for the vast majority of humanity. The only difference is that some simply wear their masks much tighter than others. You operate under a massive, tragic delusion. You genuinely believe that the outside world is what hurts you. You point your trembling finger at the betrayals and unexpected abandonments. But the architecture of human suffering is much darker. Here is the reality. Nothing in the external universe has the power to destroy you, unless a rotting, infected wound already exists within your own psyche. What brings you to your knees is not what other people do to you. It is the sleeping demons their actions wake up inside you. It is the childhood trauma you swept under the rug. It is the echoing, massive emptiness that you try to disguise with arrogant pride. The agony we experience from outside forces is merely a mirror, reflecting our unintegrated internal chaos. This is exactly why one man can lose his entire fortune, his reputation, and his home, yet stand with terrifying calm in the ashes. Meanwhile, another man psychologically shatters over a sarcastic joke. It is never about the bullet. It is about the exact place where the bullet strikes your soul. You are still suffering so deeply because you arrogantly believe you have the right to control how the universe treats you. You exhaust your soul running on a hamster wheel, trying to be good enough, smart enough, or stoic enough. You subconsciously hope that if you just perfect your mask, you will earn an invisible shield against tragedy. But control is a phantom, a laughable illusion. As long as you grip the steering wheel with white knuckles, you will live in constant terror. You are exhausting yourself trying to predict the unpredictable, trying to outrun the inevitable tragedies of mortal existence. You walk around believing you are the author of your own life. Wake up from this hallucination. You are sleepwalking. You are wandering through your days on a hypnotic autopilot, reacting blindly to triggers, feeling heavy without knowing why, and sabotaging your own peace. Carl Jung laid down the absolute, unbreakable law of the human psyche. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Look at the tragic, repetitive cycles of your life. The sudden volcanic rage over a minor inconvenience. The heavy, suffocating sorrow that pins you to your bed. None of this is a random glitch in your brain chemistry. It is an SOS signal from the exiled parts of your soul. The unconscious is not a poetic daydream. It is a highly active, dangerous underground civilization of repressed memories, forbidden desires, and bloody traumas. Because you refuse to look at it, it sits in the dark and pulls your strings like a master puppeteer. You trip over the exact same stones because you refuse to turn on the light. Jung said, "We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses." Yet look at how violently you treat yourself. You are your own cruelest tyrant. You condemn your own sadness. You silence your inner child. You aggressively repress your fears, foolishly believing that if you ignore the rot, the tree will somehow cure itself. But the unconscious does not evaporate just because you close your eyes. It violently floods your life through other avenues. It manifests as the toxic partners you keep choosing. It emerges as the sudden panic attacks when your life finally seems quiet. This is not bad luck. It is your own mind violently shaking you, begging you to wake up, but you insist on hitting the snooze button. The modern fools of this world believe that emotional safety requires amputation. They cut off their capacity to feel. They wear heavy iron masks of apathy and brag to everyone about being dead inside. They say they do not care anymore. But beneath that cheap, rusted metal armor, their souls are bleeding out. Jung was a sniper when he stated, "Know all the theories, master all the techniques, but as you touch a human soul, be just another human soul." That raw, vulnerable human soul you are suffocating beneath a fake, untouchable persona is screaming for oxygen. You do not become a titan by building impenetrable walls between yourself and humanity. You become truly untouchable when you finally realize that nothing from the outside can destroy what you have already fully embraced on the inside. Since childhood, society has brainwashed you to view suffering as a defect, a disease to be eradicated. So what do? You run. You numb the pain with glowing screens, cheap dopamine, and hollow distractions. But ignored agony does not simply evaporate. It grabs a shovel and digs deep tunnels in your mind, until one day the entire foundation of your reality collapses. Jung saw pain through an entirely different lens. To him, suffering was a sacred messenger. He wrote, "Depression is like a lady in black. If she appears, don't push her away. Invite her to sit down, offer her a coffee, and listen to what she has to say." But you are terrified of this lady in black. You absolutely refuse to sit in the heavy silence with her. You turn up the noise of the external world to drown her out. What is this profound agony trying to tell you? You are fighting a massive civil war inside your own head. An ancient part of you is begging for evolution, while your terrified ego clings to the familiar rot. Growth is a violent, destructive process. Shedding dead skin hurts. Allowing the dead parts of your identity to rot away is a psychological funeral. But it is only in the smoldering ashes of your destroyed ego that the real you can finally take its first breath. Few people have the spine to begin this journey, and even fewer complete it. Because this path puts your fragile ego on a guillotine. You must unlearn everything you thought defined you. But when you drag your hidden monsters to the surface and look them dead in the eye, you stop being a puppet. You realize you no longer need to be loved by everyone. Your core becomes dense, heavy, and immovable. However, this depth comes with a heavy price: profound loneliness. You will inevitably distance yourself from the superficial herd, not out of arrogance, but out of necessary maturation. You distance yourself because the tight, suffocating boxes you used to hide in can no longer contain your expanding consciousness. There is no permanent shield in this life. Nothing will protect you from the tragedies of the world if you remain blind to the mechanics of your own soul. Awakening is not a magic trick. It is a brutal, daily choice to look in the mirror. Carl Jung stated the final law of the crossing. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. You have fought against your own shadow for your entire existence. You are utterly exhausted. It is time to drop the sword. True emotional immunity is not a hardened heart. It is piercing, terrifying clarity. When you finally map out your own traumas and deeply understand your triggers, the actions of sleeping fools lose all their power over you. You will still feel the cold wave hit you, but you will no longer drown in it. You will suffer, but you will not lose your identity. Those who live on the shallow surface are destroyed by every passing storm. Those who dive into the dark abyss know that down below there is absolute silence, stability, and unshakable power. If this transmission cracked through your fake armor today, if something ancient and tired woke up inside your chest, leave your mark in the dark below. Write the words, "I choose awareness." Stop trying to survive by hiding behind a pathetic mask. Walk directly through the fire. I will see you in the dark.